Okay, so you're on the road. You leave you leave home, join WWE. That's like one hardship enough of like being a young kid doing that thing. Then you're like called up to the main roster, win the title, have that monumental moment that we know, winning that title on like your debut with AJ Lee. Pressure is on. Everyone knows you've pretty much been anointed like the next star. What's that like being in that position of being like still?
That's a lot of pressure too. Yeah, 21. And I had the NXT Women's Championship at the time. So
first NXT Women's Champion.
First ever.
Yeah.
Which is like super cool because with the NXT thing, I wasn't even supposed to be doing the match, right? So I just had this surgery. I had a dermoid cyst removed. Yeah. Right? And I have this big scar across my,
Me too.
my gimmick now.
From my baby.
Yeah, mine's not from a baby. Mine's from, a demon child that was attached to my ovary. It had hair and everything. It was the weirdest shit too. I'm like, what in the is this alien? Dermoid cyst.
I've heard of this.
So you have them at birth.
Teeth and shit, right?
You get them at birth, and I didn't know that, and then it just like grew over time, and it was 10 centimeters by 6. I think I went there because I found out I had scoliosis in my back because of Rob the Trainer. I didn't even know I had scoliosis, right? So I went there, and then I had like this whole like full body X-ray, whatever, and then they saw like this mass, and I was just like, what the is that? Yeah. So then I go to like my gyno or whatever, and they're just like, oh, that's a dermoid cyst. So I had it removed, and then I had to have like a couple of weeks out of the ring. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, the pay-per-view's coming up. And it was the first ever pay-per-view to ever hit the WWE Network. Yeah. We were the first women to be shown on there. And I was like, oh, well, I might not be able to do this, And then literally on the day of the pay-per-view, like, Hunter was just like, do you think you're ready to have a match right now? And I'm like, yeah, dude. And he was like, I need to see you roll around and stuff like that. Like, we have to be safe, And so I was doing my thing, and then the doctor came out, and they were just like, all right, you're good to go. And I was like, whew, thank God. So I'm like, I get to have this match. And then, getting to be the champ at the same time was insane. Huge. So you're just like, big moves, right? And then doing the Divas Championship, dude, I was just like, because I already got told the day before. Everyone knows the story about Dwayne telling me. Yeah. And then get into, Raw. And it was intimidating, especially back then. The locker room was way more intimidating. Because it was way more, I feel like, cutthroat back then, too.
Yes. It definitely was.
Yeah. Everyone was super nice to me, of course, but it was just...
There was more generations almost as well, where it was like, there was Vicky and Tamina, and then there's like AJ, Celeste, the twins, obviously.
Rosa, Foxy. Yeah. It was just like that generation of like, they've been through shit too.
Yes.
They probably went for a lot more
yes.
shit. So they were just like, a little bit more guarded, But they were all still super nice to me, for sure. But it was just, like, intimidating to go up there because I'm this new girl, that they all just did this match prior on WrestleMania where they all couldn't beat AJ. So it was a little unfair that this girl's coming up and just doing it in, like, a couple of minutes. So I totally get it. But it was, like, it was still... It was intimidating and scary, and I'm like, trust me, I'm in this position. Like, I'm never going to say no to it.
Yeah,
I'd never be like, no, I don't want this championship.
Not my time yet.
Yeah. So I was just like, I just went with it, and AJ really was really sweet to me. Yeah. Like she wanted to help me out in everything, promos, and like I didn't know whether I should go sit in the makeup chair because of like etiquette, and I'm like,
the chaos of the makeup chair. Good God.
Luckily it's not like that now.
No, it's not like that now.
But the makeup chair back in the day, oh my God. If it depended like the hierarchy and who gets to be in the makeup chair first. And that's just like down from like, again, generations of just how it was. Again, not the same now. But AJ was like, no, sit there. And Jan was the one who was the head makeup artist too. And I was about to sit in her chair, which she would make our makeup look like Sally Jesse Raphael, dude. It was like early 90s. I was just like, you girls are like fighting over this bitch.
Oh my God, I was just like peed a little laughing at that.
I'm just like, why is this woman causing so much anarchy, right? So I was like, all right. And then like she didn't even brush out my curls, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna do this, all right, whatever. I'm like, I don't know how to do hair and makeup, so this is the best it's gonna get, I guess. So like, I remember getting it done and then just being like, all right. And then I'm nervous because I haven't done this promo, and then Vince wants me to be more timid, and I'm like, that's not the character I was doing in NXT.
Right.
But who told me? I think it was maybe Road Dogg or something like that. He was like, he wants you to be like that now, but you can slowly change it.
Sure.
Don't worry. You know. Sure. So I was just like, you're right. And then just doing the whole championship, coming back, and like people, like the girls were there to hug me, which was like super sweet. I was like, oh shit, like they're here to, you know.
I was just reminiscing about that because I was doing the stuff for. Did we know that you're doing the documentary?
No, but we can say it.
Okay. For like the A&E documentary, so we were just like reminiscing about that when I was talking about it. I was like, man, I can so remember that moment in the building. Every time we would do New Orleans, I would think of being there and doing that interview with you right after. Like,
oh yeah,
that was crazy. Everyone's crying.
You have to like work straight away, dude. Like as soon as you get backstage, like, all right, you need to go take pictures, and you need to do these interviews, you need to do this. You know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, all right, and then like I walk back and I just hear Randy being like, you beat her with a leg sweep or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I know the move kind of like wasn't the perfect, you know, it wasn't nailed perfectly, but that's why I kind of stopped using that move. It was because
Randy was like, what's up with the leg sweep?
Well, no, because it wasn't taken perfectly. And like with that, and it wasn't just him who said it. I just remember that because it's the first thing he said when I come back, and we were like laughing about it, but people were like tweeting at me about it. Like, did she just beat Adrian with a leg sweep? With that move, it has to be both of us figuring it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where like with all the other moves I was doing, I can just do it myself and it's gonna look good. Unless I do the rampage and for some reason they just want to roll over. That used to bother me so much. I'm like, how are you over there? Like, you're taking a DDT. Like, but that was the only thing that used to bother me was like the rollover. But I would just tighten their head a little bit and like,
you're staying there.
Yeah,
stay
exactly.
here.
Yeah. So, that's the reason why I got rid of it. People always ask me why, and I was just like, because I can't execute it perfectly if it's not just me.
It's not the right time.